Scott, Guggenheim has reserved the right to invest up to 10% of its macro fund in Bitcoin. Have you guys started buying yet? And how much is this decision tied to the Fed's extraordinary policy?
Well, to answer the second question, Scarlett, clearly Bitcoin and our interest in Bitcoin is tied to Fed policy and the rampant money printing that's going on.
2020 was a pivotal year for Bitcoin. You can call it a kind of turning point of sorts. That's because a series of global macro events and how the government responded kind of created the perfect storm for Bitcoin. And it seems like Bitcoin had the entire infrastructure almost ready to rock and roll with exchanges, wallets, OTCs, and everything that these investors needed to get into the crypto market. And crypto, if you take a look back, crypto started 2020 as a very small asset class. In fact, it started 2020 with a market cap of just under $200 billion, or in fact, $190 billion. And then it grew over the year, the 2020 year, from $190 billion to close to $1 trillion market cap. Over 2020, Bitcoin became bigger than most of the big companies that you know, bigger than Visa, bigger than MasterCard, bigger than Berkshire Hathaway, bigger than Samsung, and bigger than most asset classes. But with this big growth and Bitcoin nearing $1 trillion, we've got a new kind of buyer in the market. And we can't expect that the market keep the same market structure as it has today. In fact, if you look at the top 10 by crypto market cap today and compare them to what will happen at the end of 2021, I think it's going to be a very different picture. I'm Crypto Man Ryan. You're watching CryptoBanter.com. This is the only station that brings you live trading information 24/7, 365. And if you do want this information, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Today, we're going to go through what I believe are going to be the top 10 coins by market cap at the end of 2021. Stay tuned if you want to know what I think are going to be the top 10 coins and what the new market structure is going to look like. I'll be back straight after the break.
Crypto Banter is the world's first interactive social cast for the crypto community. Get the latest news, views, interviews, and live conversations with crypto enthusiasts from around the world. This is where you call in, you make the show, and you bring the banter. That's CryptoBanter.com, where you talk crypto.
Welcome back to CryptoBanter.com, and if you are watching this today, we're looking at what I think the top 10 coins are going to be by market cap by the end of 2021. And effectively, what we're looking at here is we're looking at how the market structure is going to change given the new players and the new entrants into the market. And of course, without further ado, let's get into the content and let's get into the coin that I think is going to be the number one coin in 2021 or at the end of 2021. And you get no points for guessing that the coin that I think is going to be the biggest coin in 2021 is, of course, none other than Bitcoin. 2020 was an amazing year for Bitcoin. Bitcoin gained the trust and the acceptance of the financial system. It gained the trust and acceptance of the regulators, and it gained the trust and acceptance of institutions and corporate treasuries. And I think this is a trend that's going to continue into 2021. I think that what's going to happen is that as these companies start to boast their returns, they're going to create almost an institutional type FOMO. And that, of course, brings me into the first of three trends that I'm watching in 2021 or for 2021. And that, of course, is the trend of institutionalization. That being funds, insurance funds, pension funds, and other funds investing money or investing some of their wealth into Bitcoin. Now, I think this started in 2020. Before 2020, we never saw big asset managers going out on a limb and actually shilling Bitcoin. I'm going to show you guys two videos that really stick out for me in 2020, from 2020. One is from Guggenheim and one is from Skybridge Capital's Anthony Scaramucci. Let's take it.
Of course, we made the decision to start allocating toward Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at 10,000. It's a little more challenging with the current price closer to 20,000. Amazing, over a very short period of time, how big of a run-up we've had. But having said that, our fundamental work shows that Bitcoin should be worth about $400,000.
Whoa.
So, we're going to, even if we had the ability to do so today, we're going to monitor the market and see how trading goes. on valuation, but ultimately look to buy it.
Scott Miner, we want to delay the Fed press conference for this comment by you. How do you frame a 400,000 Bitcoin? How do you get from where we are now out to 400,000? Is it just based on scarcity?
Yeah, right, Tom. It's based on the scarcity and relative valuations, such as things like gold as a percentage of GDP. So, Bitcoin is actually has a lot of the attributes of gold, and at the same time has an unusual value in terms of transactions.
Sounds like you're not betting against Bitcoin as well. It crashed through 20,000 today. How sustainable is that?
Well, this thing has a tendency to crash up if you really study Bitcoin. After I got fired from the White House and returned to my job, that's one of the great things when you own your own company. When you're fired, you can go back to work. I spent 2.5 years, 3 years studying Bitcoin, analyzing other digital currencies. Right now, this thing is crashing upwards, so it is due for a correction. And these corrections can be violent. They can be 20 to 50%. So you have to be very cautious. But I will say this, if you took $1 and you put 99 cents of it in cash and 1 penny in Bitcoin over the last 10 years, that asset allocation strategy outperformed the S&P 500. And so Bitcoin's best days are ahead of it, but it's going to be volatile, and I think people have to be prepared for that.
So when did you ever think that you'd get institutions live on national television shilling Bitcoin? And that, of course, for me, is the first theme that's going to carry over from 2020 into 2021. And that, of course, is the institutional buying. And I'd go as far as to say that if your asset manager hasn't got exposure to Bitcoin in 2021, that could probably be deemed some kind of negligence. The second theme that I'm going to touch on for 2021 is, of course, corporate treasuries buying Bitcoin. And this, of course, was started by none other than Michael Saylor, who put MicroStrategy's treasury into Bitcoin, or a significant part of MicroStrategy's treasury into Bitcoin. Today, that investment is up over $1 billion. Now, why is that so relevant? Is that because other companies are going to look at this and say, look, here is a company that was making on average $50 million a year. I took the liberty of pulling out MicroStrategy's earnings. You can see the earnings on the screen. In 2019, they made $16 million before tax. 2018, they made $8 million before tax. 2017, they made $89 million before tax. This is a company that wasn't making anywhere near $1 billion. And in just less than 6 months, they're already up over $1 billion just on their Bitcoin investment. Now, I think that other corporate treasuries are going to see this and they're going to say, hold on, it's the responsible thing to do is to have some kind of part of our treasury in Bitcoin. The last trend that I want to talk about for 2021, or something that I think is going to follow us for 2021, is DeFi built onto Bitcoin. Now, you may turn around and say to me, DeFi is definitely something that's built on Ethereum. I'm going to say to you that in 2021, we're going to see protocols like REN BTC, like RSK, building DeFi onto Bitcoin. And I think that all these treasuries and institutions are going to want to start earning a return on their capital. And when they do, that's going to build a big DeFi ecosystem around Bitcoin. And that will be the big catalyst for the Bitcoin run of 2021. Now, I'm also going to make some big predictions for 2021. I've got 3 massive predictions for 2021. If you want to hear them, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. These are the biggest predictions for Bitcoin for 2021. And the first prediction that I have is that we're going to see a Bitcoin ETF in 2021. We know that there was a Van Eck filing just at the end of 2020. We also know that Jay Clayton has left the room and that we've got a new SEC chairman, Elad Roisberg, and he is much more friendly to cryptocurrency. And therefore, I think that we're going to get a Bitcoin ETF. The second prediction that I'm going to make for 2021 is that Bitcoin as an asset class, not crypto, just Bitcoin, is going to eclipse the total market cap of silver. If you look at the total market cap of silver today, silver has a market cap of $1.5 trillion. I think that Bitcoin will eclipse that in 2021, and I think that Bitcoin will eclipse silver. And the third prediction that I'm going to make is that the Grayscale Fund, the Grayscale Trust, which currently has $16 billion worth of assets in it, is going to eclipse the GLD Gold ETF, which has $70 or $80 billion under management today. So I think it's going to be a huge year for Bitcoin. And that, of course, why I think that Bitcoin is my pick for the best coin or the biggest coin in 2021. Now, let's move on to the second pick that I have. And of course, there's no surprise in the second pick. That, of course, is Ethereum. Now, whereas Bitcoin has gone out and built this network effect as a store of value or store against Fed printing of money or governments printing of money, Ethereum has created a network value as the world's biggest decentralized smart contract network. And when I look at network effects, I look at three types of network effect. The first one is, of course, usage. So you need usage to create the network effect, because the more people use apps on Ethereum, the more app developers will build on Ethereum, and so the cycle goes on. But the more impressive part for me, and the part that cannot be ignored when it comes to Ethereum, is the smartness of the community. Ethereum has the smartest developer community in the world, and you cannot take a bet against the intellectual capital that is the power of Ethereum. This is a picture from DevCon in Osaka. There were over 3,000 of the smartest people in the room, all building amazing stuff, DeFi products and other products on the Ethereum network. You cannot take a bet against this. And the venture capitalists also aren't taking a bet against Ethereum. In fact, all the venture capital money, or the majority, 80% of the VC money in the space, is following Ethereum and Ethereum developers. And I think that this will continue right into 2021. This network effect will continue to grow. Now, Ethereum does have scaling issues. In fact, they've just moved towards the first step of moving on to ETH2, and so far it has been successful. But despite these scaling problems, I think that the building on the Ethereum network is going to continue, and Ethereum is going to continue to be the number 2 coins. Let's look out for 4 trends on the Ethereum network this year, 4 places to invest. The first one is, of course, DeFi. This whole decentralized finance movement, that is, of course, going to continue on Ethereum. And I also think that we're going to start seeing the NFT space, the non-fungible token space, also start building on Ethereum. Don't discount the CeFi, or the centralized finance being built on Ethereum. I think while all eyes are on DeFi, don't forget that the smart contract part, centralized financing, is also going to be built on Ethereum. And that's going to give Ethereum a hell of a momentum this year. Don't forget about layer 2 scaling solutions, and that is because Ethereum can't scale as a native blockchain. We're going to see a whole lot of native layer 2 scaling solutions, which allow for parallel scaling solutions on the Ethereum network. And the last thing that we should look at, of course, is the institutionalization of Ethereum. Grayscale has reported recently that all eyes are on the Grayscale Ethereum Trust as money is starting to move there from the institutions. And this is, of course, why I think that Ethereum is going to keep its number 2 spot at the end of 2021. I think if you buy my thesis, then at $100 billion today, Ethereum is still cheap. And in fact, Ethereum hasn't even hit its all-time high from 2017, whereas Bitcoin has almost doubled its all-time high from 2017. Don't discount Ethereum. I think that Ethereum probably has a 2x or a 3x or maybe even a 5x minimum. For those of you who are more technical, you'll also know that to secure the Ethereum network, you need billions of dollars to be staked, and that's going to be a big part of the Ethereum network. So let's move on to number 3. My coin that is going to be number 3 may shock you guys, because it's not XRP, certainly not XRP, and it's not Litecoin. In fact, the coin that I have as number 3 in the top 10 coins for 2021 is US dollar Tether. Now, many of you may be surprised. Why would US dollar Tether, a coin with a 20 billion market cap today, take the number 3 spot? Well, let me explain what my thinking is here. As more people come onto the blockchain, as more investment managers, as more funds come onto the blockchain, we're going to need this bridge. We're going to need to get their US dollar fiat money and bring it onto the blockchain and make it US dollar Tether. And this is where Tether is perfectly positioned. Today, they've got about $20 billion under management, or in total printing. But there's one thing that the crypto market is choosing to ignore. USDT and Bitfinex, the mother company, are still at odds with the New York Attorney General, and there's still a case between them and the New York Attorney General. And per their own admission, only 72% of the US dollar Tether at one stage were backed by actual US dollars. So that is a risk, and we must keep our eyes open in 2021 and make sure that we talk about this risk and that it doesn't explode, because if it does, that's a $20 billion explosion as it currently stands into US dollar Tether. All right, let's move on to my number 4 coin. And if any of you guys have been watching the show, this coin's not going to be a surprise for you because this coin is taking on the 2 biggest problems of the blockchain. The first problem of the blockchain, of course, is scalability, blockchains that don't scale. And the next big problem of the blockchain is, of course, interoperability. And that is hopping between one blockchain and another blockchain. Now, this next token, which is, of course, Polkadot, or this next network, which is, of course, Polkadot, is going to solve both interoperability and scalability. Polkadot was founded by Gavin Wood, and he's one of the original founders of Ethereum. In fact, he wrote the Solidity programming language, which is what the Ethereum smart contracts are written on. And he is solving scalability and interoperability in a very, very novel way. He's created a main chain and a whole lot of side chains with bridges to the main chain. And while most of the computation gets done on the side chains or on the parachains, that takes the pressure off the main chain, which is the Polkadot network. You cannot discount Polkadot, not only because their technology is so good, but because they've managed to get the network effects when it comes to projects building on Polkadot. And in fact, today, if you look at the Polkadot ecosystem, some of the best projects out there are actually being written or being built on Polkadot. So it's no surprise to me, it will come as no surprise to me if this thing catches up or gets very close to Ethereum's market cap. Today, when I was doing this, Polkadot was trading at a market cap of about $8 billion. I think that this is going to be the best performing large cap token of 2021. I think it's going to get very close to Ethereum's market cap. And that's why I think that the number 4 token for 2021 is, of course, going to be Polkadot. For my number 5 token, if you want the number 5 token, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That is what gets our content out there. I'm going to bring you the number 5 token for me at the end of 2021. And that, of course, is USDC. And that is, again, a stable coin. I already spoke at length about stable coins. I mentioned to you that I think that 2021 is going to be the year where institutions bring their money onto the blockchain, and they're going to have to hold it in some kind of blockchain type money, and they're either going to hold it into USD or DT or USDC. Let's not forget that USDT has this court case with the New York Attorney General, and so some investors are turning around and saying, hold on a second, I don't want to put my money into USDT because of the New York Attorney General, so I'm rather going to take my money and store it in USDC. I also think that something else is going to happen when it comes to stablecoins in 2021. I think that institutions and corporates are actually going to start transacting in stablecoins. I think what they're going to do is they're actually going to start paying their supplier in stablecoins simply because it's an easier way to get money cross borders. It may even be cheaper than a wire transfer, and it's just quicker and much, much, much more effective. And that's why I think that a stablecoin, USDC, will be the number 5 coin. It's important to note that at the beginning of 2021, the market cap or the total funds locked in USDC was about $400 million. And if you look at the market cap today, it's about $4.5 billion. So that coin 10x the number of coins minted. It grew itself by 10x. And I think that that's going to grow to be the number 5 coin in 2021. Moving on, let's go to the number 6. My number 6 prediction for 2021. My number 6 prediction is none other than a DeFi token. Yep, it's a DeFi token. It's the first of 2 DeFi tokens that I want to talk about today. My number 6 pick for the biggest coin in 2021 is WBTC. And for those of you who don't know what WBTC is, effectively, WBTC is the process of bringing your Bitcoin onto Ethereum and letting you participate using Bitcoin in the Ethereum DeFi system. For lack of a better description, all it is, it's a wrapper around your BTC. It's an Ethereum wrapper around your BTC, which allows you to stake your Bitcoin and earn rewards on the Bitcoin network. The thing that amazes me about this is today already more than 6% of the Bitcoin in the world today, 6% of the Bitcoin in the world today are wrapped in Ethereum. So 6% of the Bitcoin in the world today are in Ethereum. Actually, much, much more because you've also got the REN BTC. So this is today the number 12 spot on CoinGecko. I think that this is going to become the number 6 spot as DeFi grows. And that is, of course, one of my big predictions for 2021. My number 8 spot, my number 8 prediction my number 7 spot also stays in the DeFi theme. And my number 7 spot is the Oracle of Oracles. And that, of course, is Chainlink. For those of you who don't know what oracles are or who don't know what Chainlink is, if you think about the world, or if you think about DeFi as a series of smart contracts, contracts that say that if X happens, then pay run, and if Y happens, then don't pay run. What you need is you need an oracle, or you need a feed that tells you what actually happens. So let's look at a very simple example, which is the football score. If I want to say that my team, which is Chelsea, will win, and you say that Chelsea will lose, and we take a bet, we have to get a score feed from somewhere. And we get that from what they call an oracle. And the oracle of oracles is, of course, Chainlink. Chainlink today is one of the top 10 coins. I think, in fact, it's the number 10 coins. It has about a $5.3 billion market cap. And if you think that the world is going to grow in terms of smart contracts, if you think that DeFi is going to grow, then, of course, you have to be investing in Chainlink. There is no other oracle that even comes close. There's no other oracle player that even comes close to Chainlink when you talk about adoption or usage today. And therefore, I think that there's not going to be anything that catches up to Chainlink in 2021. And this coin is just going to continue to go from strength to strength to strength. My number eight coin will surprise a whole lot of you, because today, my number 8 coin is not even in the top 20 coins. In fact, it's probably number 28. But to me, this coin is a DeFi gem. In fact, for me, this is one of the most exciting coins. It recently crossed $1 billion market cap. And yep, I'm talking about none other than Synthetics, or SNX. SNX for me is a big DeFi play. In fact, it's the darling on the DeFi play. And for those of you who don't know what SNX does, SNX effectively allows you to create synthetic assets that mirror the real assets. And that, of course, opens the world up to a whole lot of derivatives products without actually having to hold the underlying assets. And these assets aren't limited to crypto assets. You can create a synthetic asset for Tesla. You can create a synthetic asset for coffee, for maize, for anything. You can create a synthetic asset, which is an asset that tracks the original asset exactly. And these synthetic assets are a big part of building a derivatives ecosystem. And I think that these synthetic assets are going to be a huge, huge, huge trend for 2021. And therefore, I think that Synthetics is going to go all the way up from number 28 with a market cap of $1.3 billion. It's going to climb up 20 spaces, and it's going to finish the year as number 8. My prediction for the number 9 token shouldn't surprise you. It's again a flyer. It's taking a token that is nowhere near the top 10 and bring it all the way into the top 10. And for me, it's not all about DeFi in 2021. In fact, we must pay attention to CeFi. And if you're going to pay attention to CeFi, you got to pay attention to none other than this man over here. Because this man over here is Alex Mashinsky. He is the founder of Celsius, but he's also the founder of VoIP and 3 other unicorns. This man has been involved in 4 unicorns. He's built Celsius today to a market cap of 2 billion plus. For Celsius has done a 50x return in 2020. In fact, I think maybe even more, a 60x return in 2020. They've given out the most loans on the blockchain. They've paid out the most interest on the blockchain. And I think that this token is going to continue growing into 2021. And I know it's a long shot, but I think that this token is going to be in the top 10 tokens of 2021. And the last token for 2021, who is going to be the token that made it into my top 10? It's not XRP. It's certainly not Litecoin. So who is it? My token pick, my number 10 token pick for the end of 2021 is Cardano. It's Cardano. It's the smart contract platform, or it's the blockchain network, the proof of stake network that is built or founded by Charles Hoskinson, who's a good friend and a good friend of CryptoBanter.com. They've taken a much slower approach. They've built a lot of research papers. They've done a lot of research, but they are making strides, and they are doing all the software upgrades that are necessary to start launching smart contracts. And when smart contracts launch on Cardano, that is going to bring Cardano into the big league and get people building on it. Now, a lot of you have tweeted me and asked me why my prediction is that Cardano is not going to be higher up, and maybe even higher up than Polkadot. My answer is simple. It's not about the tech. It's simply about the time to market. I think that Polkadot got a head start in getting the network effect. I think that Cardano still has a long way to catch up. And I think that maybe in 2022, that'll be the year of building on Cardano. 2021 is just going to be the year in which Cardano starts getting building and starts building that network effect. So before I go, and I've shared the wisdoms with you about my 2021 predictions, you're probably looking at this and going, wait. You've taken out Bitcoin. Sorry, you've taken out Litecoin, and you've taken out XRP, and you've taken out BCH. And there's not a single payments token on your top 10 prediction for 2021. And all of those have been left out with good reason. I'm not going to talk too much about why I don't think XRP is going to make it into my top 10. XRP to me is a dead token. I think it didn't have a use case or a builder's or a developer's ecosystem in the first place. To me, I was flabbergasted. I was surprised that it was even in the top 3 for as long as it was. I think that by the end of 2021, XRP won't even be in the top 20, but I guess time will tell, and I guess the trolls will remind me of this either way. Litecoin and BCH, I'm going to loop them into one and say that I don't think that 2021 is the year of payments on the blockchain. In fact, I think that PayPal has already done its bit by adding Litecoin, adding Bitcoin, adding Ethereum. But I think that 2022 is going to be the year of payments on the blockchain. And so in my mind, by the end of 2021, I don't think that we're going to have a payments network on the blockchain. So guys, that brings me to the end of my predictions for 2021. My producers, if you could just put them back on the screen so the guys can have a look at the top 10 predictions for 2021. Number 1, Bitcoin. Number 2, by market cap, Ethereum. Number 3, Tether. Number 4, none other than Polkadot. Number 5, none other than USDC. Number 6, the DeFi play in Bitcoin, which is of course Wrap Bitcoin. Number 7, the Oracle of Oracles, Chainlink. Number 8, synthetics, that allows people to print and mint synthetic assets. A CeFi play for number 9. And of course, Cardano for number 10. If you've enjoyed this, if you want more of this type of information, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell, because over the next year, we're going to be coming to you with a whole lot of live 24/7 content as soon as news happens. As soon as there are pullbacks, you can do that. Also, you can join our Telegram group. That is the Crypto Banter Telegram group. That is live all the time. We make calls there all the time, and we also particularly look for small cap gem calls, which we call them. And those have been extremely effective for us, and I think they're going to continue to do so in the altcoin run. I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. And tomorrow we've got a jam-packed show for you, talking all about price, and trading. Happy New Year. Welcome back. I'll see you again tomorrow. I'm Crypto Man Run, signing out for CryptoBanter.com. I'll see you guys again tomorrow.
Crypto Banter is the world's first interactive social cast for the crypto community. Get the latest news, views, interviews, and live conversations with crypto enthusiasts from around the world. This is where you call in, you make the show, and you bring the banter. That's CryptoBanter.com, where you talk crypto. Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the station. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research.